Let me start by lighting this candle. Please give me clear divine guidance to be most beneficial for everyone involved. I hope whoever you are, wherever you are, you have had a good Halloween, Hallows Eve. Oh, okay. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, can you wait a moment? Thank you very much. This is going to be a collective messages, channeled messages around, specifically around the healing of the witch's wound. I can feel the gravity of this message. Also, here I am. This is me. Uh, Codes of Harmony. Yeah, I guess I'm just feeling like a smart ass witch today. Oh, sorry, was that too loud? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay. Let's get some Blue Lotus going. Candles lit. This is going to be about the witch's wounding. This is okay. I went to light the sage and literally a huge piece of sage just dropped directly into the candle. That's how we're starting. Okay. All right. Calling in protection. I call in protection for you, me, and our families. This is going to be a Halloween special of me basically channeling rambling messages around the interesting, around the witch hunts, the witch trials, the trauma that people have carried from lifetime to lifetime as witches, as warlocks, as alchemists, as magicians, as people with divine powers and gifts, what we call in the modern day chosen ones, etc., etc. Okay, I just really need to. This is like, okay, so ironically, what I'm about to talk about is the same reason that this is a bit of a nerve-wracking, I guess you could say, although I'm so blessed, I feel so divine to be talking about this, but it is a nerve-wracking experience because literally the same reason that witches were slaughtered, murdered, convicted of crimes, quote unquote crimes that they had never done. The same reasoning that we were tortured, murdered, vilified. Oh, my candle's just gone out. Give me one moment. Calling in extra protection today. Happy fucking Halloween. And excuse my French. I would like to just acknowledge anyone that has been drawn to this video. I would like to acknowledge your witch's wounding. I would like to acknowledge all of the lives or lifetimes that you have experienced being vilified because of your gifts, because of your magic, because of your healing, and because of who you innately are. Okay, I'm just going to give just channel a bit of information about the witch's wounding for those who are not familiar with or have not properly processed within yourself or within different dynamics, different relationships, why this would be having an impact on you. It's a Halloween special for obvious reason, because all of that scorpionic energy, hold on, let me just ground. Okay. This is a big video to be doing. Okay. Woo. Okay. Extra Blue Lotus, I think. Blue Lotus. For those of you who don't know, this is Codes of Harmony. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. At this time, for the collective, there is a mass healing that is taking place of the witch's wound, of the wounding that took place to you in a past lifetime. If you've been drawn to this video, you have a witch's wound. clearing the fucking throat chakra, because I'm going to talk about this. I don't really care for the physical. Okay, let me put it this way. What you are experiencing at this time, both collectively and individually, is the healing of the witch's wound. We have extra power and potential to do this around Halloween, around Hallows Eve, around this period of time, no matter who you are, where you are. Witches were murdered across the entire globe, across the whole world. There were many, many, many unjust, unfounded murders that took place of people who were labeled as witches, labeled as satanic, labeled as working for the devil because they were magic. Why is this important? Why is this important to you? Because the way that you still hold this wounding within, you still hold this trauma, this fear of persecution, doubly so if you also happen to have been born as a marginalized person in this time. This is something I know about. Okay. I just also want to call in, like, I'm just going to call in the right energies to receive this message, yeah? Open your throat chakra. Calling in healing for the witch's wound. Thank you. I'm going to call the right people into the room. I'm going to call in the right energies. I'm going to call on those who are ready to hear about the witch's wound, who are here to actually heal the witch's wound within. Many of you are currently having arguments, problems, issues with people in your current life that were responsible for you dying as a witch, as a warlock. Many of you are now being given a situation, a time, a place, an action and an access to be able to confront those people that actually harmed you in your past life as a witch, to be able to actually confront those who lied about you as a witch, who lied about you or your whole family, your whole people who literally had an effect on whether or not you lived and survived the witch's trials. So this message isn't going to resonate with everyone. Thank you for being using your own discernment as we move through this message together. I really don't know how this is going to go. And just allow a little bit more sage. Make sure that you're cleansing and saging at this time, because as we know, the veil is very thin around Halloween. Okay. So I really hope that you receive this message with all of the love, care, and good intention that it comes with. I'm just going to leave this here for a minute. And just make sure the window is open. 1 second. So this is going to mean different things for all of you. If you're here, thank you for being here. Yeah, and as I said, I'm really trying to call in the right energies into this space. Like, I'm really not interested in the wrong energies receiving this message. So yeah, I'm just going to put in a little protection spell around this space. And hope that wherever you are safe and you are sound. Although if I put the sage there, it looks like I'm burning. Ah! Sorry, witch's joke. Terrible. I know. So, if you are watching this video, if this video has found you, if you found this video, you either, and this is weird to say, you are either a survivor, like your soul is a surviving soul of the witch hunts, of the witch trials, or you are actually responsible with putting a witch behind bars. So half of you watching this video are going to be somebody who was actually a witch, or was somebody who was accused of being a witch. Now, first let's talk about what a witch is. A witch is an alchemist, a witch is a magician, a witch is an empress, a high priestess. A witch was anything from like the wise woman on the top of the hill who gave out good advice, to the medicine woman that actually delivered you and your brothers and sisters, but then ended up getting burnt as a witch. The witch was anybody who was magic. This is very significant because we have moved through a period of time where the world stopped believing in magic. That is how we've ended up where we are. I could go on there about the patriarchy, the Industrial Revolution, the demonizing of the divine feminine, but not just the divine feminine, but the divine feminine that is wise, that is all-knowing, that is tapped into the divine. This is what we're talking about. We are talking about an actual systematic plague of lies, of dominance, of getting people to turn on each other in order to vilify divine feminine knowledge. Divine sacred feminine knowledge is what was being vilified in the witch trials. This divine sacred knowledge is something that many of you have. I'm just going to, as I'm doing this work, I'm working with energy as well. So you may feel, sense, or see me moving energy. For this particular channeling, for this particular collective message, for this Halloween special, I'm going to be doing extra work to reconnect you with all of the pride that you should have in your magic, for all of the wonder and beauty that you should see within your own divinity, with your own connection with divine feminine knowledge and knowing. So when we talk about the high priestess energy, when we talk about Hierophant energy, the Hierophant often is depicted as a male, as a man, as a divine masculine figure. The truth, the reality is that that divine masculine figure is actually tapping into divine feminine knowing and knowledge. And that is how the Hierophant, the high priestess, operate, by connecting into knowing, connecting into intuition, connecting into literally channeling. So what I'm doing right now, the way that I'm channeling messages to you from the divine, that requires being very receptive, that requires being very vulnerable, that requires being very empowered within my divine feminine. This is a message for you, for the people that are connecting and resonating in with this video. Thank you everyone also who clicks like, shares, and subscribes, as it keeps bouncing out these messages so we can all rise together. Oh. This energy is coming in very quickly. I also live in the rainforest. If there's any glitches in the videos, that's why, because it has been raining here, and sometimes the messages get broken up in the rain. Okay, so lots of you have trauma of the way that you were murdered, or trauma around watching somebody you know or somebody you love be murdered for being a witch. Whether they went through an actual quote-unquote witches trial, through a system of quote-unquote law, through a justice system. Lots of you may have very complex relationships with justice, with men, with male energy, with male frequency, because it was a largely, it was an oppression, again, I will say, of the divine feminine knowing. And this divine feminine knowing, what is so wrong about it? What has been so detrimentally harmful to the entire collective, everyone in the collective, regardless of their gender, is because that is cutting us off from divinity. That is cutting us off from our connection to the divine, to quote-unquote God, to whatever word you want to use, whatever quotations, wherever they lay for you. you will notice in my frequency, in my energy, there is a certain amount of rage, of a righteous rage, which you are being encouraged to tap into at this time. It's important for you all to understand your Lilith moon. Lilith energy is very present every Halloween, Hallows Eve. Um, oh, yeah, I'm not even going to go into that right at this moment, Spirit, if you don't mind. But Sir Wayne as well. It was not just about breaking up and attacking the divine feminine ability to receive from the divine, from the ether, from a place of higher consciousness than where we sit, our physical reality. Not only was it an attack on that, but it was about control, because the true divine feminine knowing is actually wild, is actually untamed, is untamable, and is unpredictable, because it is in flow, because it is about going in flow with nature, with what you receive from the divine, from the earth, from the rain, from the river, from the birds and the animals around you, and being in touch with nature. The reason that we speak of earth as Mother Gaia is because of that divine flow, because of that wildness that actually exists in being receptive enough to receive divine downloads, to receive divine intuition, to connect with the wildness within you in a way that is productive and healing. Not only healing for you, but healing for the whole collective. Many of you will be doing work on your throat chakra at the moment, because the suppression of magic. So what happened during the witches' trials is that it came to a place that if you truly were magic, if you truly were divine, if you truly were tapped in, all the things that we're now, it's safe for us to talk about, you know. Obviously, that is also a spectrum, depending on who you are, where you are, what your family is, the situation you're in. I give so much solidarity and respect to those people that are in places and growing up in lives where they're even more oppressed with their expression of magic, with their expression of that receptive divine connection to the ether, to their own powers, to their own inner knowing, which of course connects into things like telepathy, clairaudience, clairvoyance, connects into knowing that a storm is going to come because you feel it within. And so the more that let's just say the forces that were that held up and bolstered up the witch hunts and witch trials, those forces were about a patriarchal, male driven oppression, suppression, and control of wildness. So this is a time that we're all being invited to connect back into our own wildness, to connect back in with our own divine knowing, because that wildness is actually, it may seem counterproductive, but that wildness is actually how you receive from the divine. That wildness is actually how you can channel messages, can connect to higher ups, can hear your spirit team, can communicate in a beneficial, safe, healing way with the other side. So there's a lot of obviously scorpionic energy in this message. There is a lot of Libran energy, because it is about equality. So it's like, as we say, as above, so below. The way that collectively magic people are treated, spoken about, gossiped about, lied on, that is still happening in this day and age. It's just not resulting in as many physical hangings. as many physical murders, tortures, um, life-threatening situations, but that memory of having your life threatened, having your safety threatened, and often your family, your loved ones, your community, your place in community, your place in family, your safe place being compromised because you are magic. So if you really boil it down, that's happening now. That's happening to you. Yes, you. That is happening to you. And so I'm just receiving a very clear message that this Halloween, this year, this Scorpio season specifically, we all have a chance to take justice for what we went through in the past life and what we are going through in this past life. In this life now. And for many of you, it is at the hands of the same people. It is the same energies. So you will find that the bitch that is gossiping about you at work, that is actually somebody who lied to the authorities, quote unquote authorities, and got you murdered in a past life. This is not going to resonate with everyone. And it's not only, okay, a lot of people are going to switch away from this video because it is fucking triggering. It's actually quite upsetting. It's actually quite traumatic. It's actually filled with like the deepest wounding that the divine feminine can have. Because, you know, and I can't make this video without talking about the R word, and that the R word metaphorically, emotionally, spiritually is a violation of that receptivity that divine feminine energy holds. It's a violation of the divine feminine's ability to receive the seed of life, to receive, and this is obviously not always on a physical that we're talking about this. I'll just take, somebody's going to find that triggering. I'm just going to take a second. This is Codes of Harmony. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Understanding why it's so upsetting. Understanding why it feels so wrong and why it is so wrong. That people don't just want to attack you for your gifts, but then people are also jealous of you for your gifts and will blame you for having those gifts. Will blame you for being magic enough to have noticed that there's something not right about them. They will be angered and similarly, but obviously not as righteously, angered and triggered by your magic, by your healing, by your ability to transmute, by your ability to manifest all the magic things. Why is that going in and out of focus again? Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Grab your justice. Get your fucking justice is what the message is. So they want me to pull cards. I wonder. Do you want me to pull cards? Yeah. Okay. And like I said before, you can see that there is I'm also going through this experience of claiming and receiving and recalling my power and the justice of past life witches wounding. Okay. What cards do we want to play with? Please give me clear divine guidance. And it's important to be able to like acknowledge this wounding. First of all, acknowledging this wounding and identifying the way that people are engaging with, interacting with this wounding within you. Some of you will also be coming into contact with people that were also other witches, that were other magicians, other warlocks, who may or may not have betrayed you, that resulted in you being tortured or murdered, accused of being a witch. Happy Halloween. Why is it going in and out of focus? Okay, I'm guessing that the internet might be glitching a little bit because of the rain. So I also actually had a whole bunch of downloaded messages about specific past lives, specific witches' wounds that I am planning on putting out today, but I figured I'd also do this as a little kind of test run to see how the internet is going in this rain and how the energy felt to be actually talking about this witch's wounding to the collective. Please give me clear divine guidance, be most beneficial for everyone involved. What can I explain to the collective about their witch's wounding? I just keep hearing the healing of the witch's wounding. The justice, bringing justice to Salem, bringing justice to all of those who were murdered in the witches' trials across the whole world. Oh, whoa. Okay, what do we got here? The moon card, of course. Of course. Of course the moon card has come out. Why? Okay. The moon card, of course, which has an owl on it, which is a very well-known witch's familiar. Some of you will be receiving messages from owls. Please give me clear divine guidance around the healing of the witch's wounds. Yeah, so because of the rain, I'll probably put these other videos out, like record them as videos on my phone and then upload them. But they were specific messages around the individual witches' wounding from the past and the way that's showing up for people in this current day and age. And the witch's wound is like, it operates on fear. And that's also an important thing to understand, is not allowing fear to, that's part of your justice, part of your retribution is not fearing being yourself, not fearing connecting into this moon energy of being the moon energy, of being the moon card. 10 of Swords, and this is a particularly gruesome 10 of Swords. Betrayal. Many of you were severely betrayed. Many of you died because you were betrayed by people who were in your coven, in your family, in your workplace, in your classes, in your friend group. So you'll be seeing this coming back up. You are seeing the results of this coming back up for you now. Okay, please give me clear divine guidance. This is Codes of Harmony. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And if this is glitchy and there's parts of the message that you are not meant to receive, then that's a message in itself. Halloween is an important time to acknowledge our ancestors. Halloween is an important time to acknowledge those who have come before us. Halloween is an important time to acknowledge why we're so magic, where our magic comes from, who in our lives have held space for our magic, who in our lives have repressed or asked us to repress our magic. Please give us clear divine guides to be most beneficial for everyone involved. Okay, 9 of Wands. This is a major closing of a cycle, like a major closing. When you get this justice, when you retrieve this justice, when you bring justice to what happened to you in your past life, which many of you are doing right now, it will close a cycle that has gone on for lifetimes. Please give me clear divine guidance. I feel yucky. Channeling is like you also feel the feelings. So when we're touching on this past life stuff, it's like it's a heavy energy. And a lot of the physical sensations of what happened to you are taking place in my vessel. That's part of the curse and the blessing of being a channeler, being a channel for the divine. Yeah, of course, the Empress comes out. Your abundance is on the other side of the justice. Closing out this cycle that has gone on for lifetimes is going to reconnect you with your Empress energy, reconnect you with the ability to manifest, to be magic, and to not be afraid of or ashamed of your magic. Don't allow anyone to make you feel ashamed of your magic. Do not ever give your power away when it comes to somebody belittling, targeting you specifically for your magic, because this is a wound that needs to be healed. This is a wounding that needs to be closed, or it will fester. It'll continue to fester, and this may be something that you have a inner knowing of, a powerful intuition about. Wow, yeah. Okay, the Empress. And the Empress is a cow. In this particular tarot deck. The 9 of Wands. Yeah, moving from this 10 of Swords where you were betrayed, and that's how you ended up. For a lot of you, you actually experienced torture. You didn't just get killed. That was part of the brutality. Clearing the throat chakra. That was part of the brutality of the witches' trials, is that it was not just about removing these people from the society. It was not just about, but it was about making an example of, making it as cruel as possible in a very public, visible way, so that other people would not rise up within themselves, within their own magic. It was essentially trying to stop ascension. So if you're trying to heal your witch's wounding, and now is the time for you to do that, look at who has oppressed you in your lifetime, and specifically oppress your magic. Hecate is also present. Hecate. Kali is very present. Obviously, scorpionic energy talks to the underworld. So if you work with any energies from the underworld, if you work with, I'm just seeing Horus, the Horus eye, if you work with Thoth, if you work with Kali energy, if you work with Osiris, if you work with Lilith, the Lilith energy is very important right now. Yeah, and it will connect you with your Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups, because ultimately, like, the witches were the healers, the witches were the givers of a balm of healing. So whether this was physically, you went into the woods, you went into the forest and created balms that healed people in your community, in your past life, or you were a somebody who aided the sickness, aided elderly people who were very sick. Let's just clear this energy. Let's just It's okay. You don't need to have shame. Like, you just don't have to have shame around the way that there was a, we talk about the pandemic, for example. There was a pandemic of hysteria related to magic. And this is a much deeper, bigger meaning and more, it's more upsetting than many of you can even receive. For a lot of you, this is a repressed past life. Yeah. And then we have the Ten of Wands. So going from the Nine of Wands to the Ten of Wands, we already had the Ten of Swords as well. So it's like lifetimes of healing. And I'll take you into the Nine of Cups and into transmutation of the soul, like liberation of the soul. Yeah. Yeah, and then underneath we have the Chariot. So your life will transform in a really quick, rapid, mind-blowing, like almost like the sense of a miracle, the way that your life will transform after you receive, retrieve, and demand. For many of you, you are demanding this justice, this balancing of the scales. I just heard light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Don't be ashamed of your magic, because the ones who hold the magic are actually the ones who are going to actually save the collective. Well, this is an unexpected collective channeling around the witch's wound, codes of harmony. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Don't ever let anybody make you feel ashamed in any way of your magic. And thank you for clicking like, sharing, and subscribing, because it bounces out these messages to get to more members of the collective.